Have you ever wondered what happens when a secret, buried deep for decades, suddenly explodes into the public eye? Imagine the world watching, cameras flashing, social media ablaze, and the very person at the center of it all struggling to breathe under the weight of a truth they thought was safely hidden. That's the scenario we are about to unpack, and it starts with a video, a single clip posted by a family in Georgia that has sent shockwaves across the internet. A clip so hair-raising, so meticulously detailed, that it claims to reveal the kind of secrets people thought could never be exposed. Secrets that, if true, could completely rewrite the story of one of the most public figures of the 21st century, Meghan Markle. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. Yes, you heard that right. Meghan Markle. The Duchess of Sussex, the global celebrity, the woman who seemed to have it all, may have a chapter in her past that nobody knew about. A chapter that, according to this Georgia family, involves a secret first pregnancy in her early 20s and a baby who, for reasons still shrouded in mystery, was quietly adopted by a wealthy family through an under-the-table agreement. Papers, photos, whispered accounts. Each element in the clip is laid out with precision, leaving viewers with a sense of disbelief, outrage, and curiosity so intense it's hard to look away. And yet, here we are. Millions of people clicking, sharing, commenting, arguing. Because when the walls of a carefully constructed life begin to crumble, the world watches, and they judge. But let's slow down for a moment. Take a deep breath and imagine the setting. Georgia, a quiet place with sprawling suburbs and tight-knit communities, isn't usually where international royal dramas unfold. Yet, in this case, the family who posted the clip claims to have been privy to events that happened decades ago, far from the limelight of Hollywood or London's royal palaces. They say they have documents, photographs, and eyewitness accounts that point to a story so explosive it has, according to them, been deliberately suppressed. And now, thanks to the virality of social media, it's impossible to ignore. Why does this matter now? After all, Meghan Markle has been in the public eye for years, and many controversies have already surrounded her. From her career as an actress in Suits, to her whirlwind romance and marriage with Prince Harry, to the unprecedented media scrutiny and public debates over the Sussex's exit from royal duties, Meghan's life has been dissected, analyzed, and debated endlessly. Yet, this story, if even partially true, would add an entirely new dimension to her narrative. It raises questions about secrecy, privilege, and the pressures of navigating a world that is constantly watching. It also forces us to ask uncomfortable questions. What is truth? What is rumor? And who decides which stories get told? The clip begins innocuously enough, or so it seems. The family appears on camera, calm but serious. The setting is modest. A living room, photos on the wall, sunlight filtering through sheer curtains. The tone is deliberate, almost rehearsed, but every word carries weight. We never wanted to go public, the matriarch says, voice steady. But we felt the world needed to know the truth about Meghan's past. And just like that, a narrative begins to unfold. One that claims that during Meghan's early 20s, she became pregnant under circumstances that were, to say the least, complicated. The father is never named. The child, according to the family, was quietly adopted by a wealthy couple who had connections powerful enough to ensure the story never reached the press. The documents and photos they share are fragmentary, blurry, and mysterious, but they are enough to ignite a wildfire of speculation online. Now, you may be wondering, how could such a secret remain hidden for so long? How could someone so in the public eye manage to keep something like this under wraps? That is precisely the question the video teases without answering. The family insists that every attempt was made to conceal the events, from sealed adoption records to private legal agreements, and that only a few people knew the full story. Yet, even with these measures, some things cannot stay buried forever. Leaks happen. Memories resurface. And in this digital age, a single post can reach millions within hours, sparking conversations, controversies, and investigations that no one can control. As the clip continues, it hints at contradictions in Meghan's public narrative. There are moments when the family shows old photographs that, they claim, align with the timeline of this alleged pregnancy. There are fragments of paperwork, blurry enough to provoke skepticism, but clear enough to suggest legitimacy. And there are emotional accounts, stories of whispered conversations, of discreet meetings, of agreements signed in secrecy. The cumulative effect is overwhelming. The viewer is left questioning everything they thought they knew about Meghan Markle. How much of her story has been carefully curated for public consumption? How much is real, and how much is constructed? Social media has responded predictably. Clips are clipped, remixed, and shared with commentary ranging from outrage to incredulity. Celebrities and influencers weigh in. Royal enthusiasts debate with fervor. Some call the family liars. Others claim they are whistleblowers delivering a truth too long suppressed. Every viewer brings their own biases, experiences, and emotions into the mix, creating a storm of conflicting narratives. And yet, amid all this noise, the core story remains. The possibility of a secret first pregnancy, a discreet adoption, and a past carefully hidden from public view. But what does this mean for Meghan herself? Imagine being thrust into the center of a viral storm for a secret that allegedly happened decades ago. Picture the fear, the anger, the disbelief. The media scrutiny she has faced in the past was intense enough, but now, the narrative isn't just about her marriage or public appearances. It's about her very personal history. Her past, private choices, and vulnerabilities are suddenly the focus of global attention, debated by millions, and dissected by people with no first-hand knowledge. And this is where the drama escalates. The stakes are no longer just reputational. They are personal, emotional, and, for some, deeply unsettling. The introduction of this story sets up multiple layers of tension. On one hand, there is the question of authenticity. Are the documents real? Are the photos credible? Are the testimonies reliable? On the other hand, there is the emotional drama. The idea that someone could maintain such a secret, the pressure it must have placed on Meghan, and the implications for everyone connected to her. The clip teases these layers masterfully, leaving viewers desperate for the next revelation. And just when it seems the clip is about to conclude, it drops the first major bombshell. The family claims that this is not an isolated incident. There are other pieces of evidence, other accounts, other fragments of the story that have yet to surface. It is a classic teaser technique. Reveal just enough to shock and intrigue, but leave the most explosive details for later. This is exactly what keeps people watching, commenting, sharing, and returning for more. Curiosity is a powerful force, and this clip exploits it to the fullest. So here we are, at the precipice of a story that could redefine public perception. A story that combines intrigue, secrecy, emotion, and controversy in equal measure. The Georgia family clip is just the beginning, a doorway into a labyrinth of allegations, rumors, and potential truths that we are only beginning to navigate. As we move into the chapters ahead, each segment will unpack these claims in detail, examine evidence, analyze reactions, and explore the broader implications for Meghan Markle, the royal family, and the public at large. The stakes are high. The intrigue is undeniable, and the questions are relentless. What really happened in Meghan's early 20s? Who knew? Who orchestrated the cover-up? And perhaps most importantly, what does this mean for the story we thought we already knew? Have you ever wondered what it feels like to carry a secret so heavy it could shake someone's entire world? For the family at the center of this story, that weight became unbearable. They lived quietly in Georgia, far from the glaring lights of Los Angeles or London's royal palaces, far from tabloid headlines and paparazzi lenses. Yet somehow, they ended up holding a piece of history that many would pay millions to uncover. And now, they have chosen to speak. It began with a clip, short, unassuming at first glance, but within seconds, it demanded attention. The video opens with the family seated in their living room, their expressions calm but resolute. A few framed photos sit in the background, ordinary snapshots of everyday life, almost mundane, yet the words that follow promise anything but ordinary revelations. "We never planned on going public," the matriarch begins, her voice deliberate. But the truth is too important to remain hidden any longer. People deserve to know what really happened. The words hang in the air, pregnant with suspense, and in that instant, viewers around the world are hooked. The family claims they have known about Meghan Markle's alleged secret first pregnancy for years. They insist that it was a story whispered in private circles, carefully concealed from the public eye, and never meant to see the light of day. Yet, in the age of the internet, secrets have a way of escaping, of finding an audience that is both fascinated and skeptical. The clip is their way of asserting control over a narrative that has been circulating in fragments for decades. They say the evidence is there: blurry photographs, paperwork fragments, and accounts from people who allegedly witnessed events firsthand. Who exactly are these people? That question is critical. The family portrays themselves as trustworthy, ordinary citizens who stumbled upon extraordinary information. They claim a connection to Meghan's early life through mutual acquaintances, distant family ties, or social networks that intersected in the 1990s and early 2000s. According to them, they were not seeking fame, not trying to tarnish reputations. They simply believe the world has a right to know. And in a way, their positioning is part of the strategy. By presenting themselves as credible, relatable, and restrained, the impact of their revelations is magnified. The audience is left wondering, can we trust them? Should we? The family details the circumstances of Meghan's alleged early 20s, a period often overshadowed by her later public life as an actress and royal figure. They describe a young woman caught in complex social and personal dynamics, navigating relationships, opportunities, and expectations. In this environment, they claim, Meghan became pregnant under circumstances that were both delicate and potentially scandalous. The family is careful to avoid overt accusations, instead opting for a narrative style that implies without explicitly stating, allowing viewers' imaginations to fill in the blanks. It was something that could have changed everything. The father says, voice low, eyes avoiding the camera. And that's why it was handled so quietly. What followed, according to the family, was a meticulous effort to manage the situation. They describe a series of discreet meetings, whispered conversations, and private arrangements made to ensure that the pregnancy would not enter public consciousness. The alleged child, they claim, was quietly adopted by a wealthy family who had the means and influence to make the transition seamless, leaving almost no trace for the public to follow. The family shows fragments of paperwork, blurred lines and signatures, alongside old photographs that they say correspond to the timeline of events. Even if the evidence is incomplete, the story structure is enough to ignite a viral reaction. It is precise, emotional, and dramatic. But perhaps the most chilling element is the family's insistence on secrecy. They explain that for years, attempts to reveal the story were met with pressure, threats, and intimidation. Legal measures were allegedly taken to suppress the information, ensuring that only those who were intimately connected would ever know the truth. Yet, as with many secrets, pressure and time can only do so much. Eventually, the decision was made to post the clip online, a calculated risk that would ensure the story reached a wide audience. It was a decision we did not make lightly, the matriarch says. But some truths cannot be buried forever. As the clip progresses, the family provides a mix of emotional storytelling and factual claims, creating a rhythm that pulls viewers in. They describe encounters, meetings, and events in painstaking detail, painting a picture of a past both familiar and strange. The narrative alternates between calm reflection and moments of heightened drama, keeping viewers on edge, unsure whether to trust the story or dismiss it as gossip. We are not here to judge, the father says, a pause emphasizing the gravity of his words. We are only here to share what we know. The family also emphasizes their motivation. They claim to be driven by a sense of justice and the need for transparency. In their telling, this is not about money, fame, or revenge. It is about unveiling a truth that, according to them, has implications for the public's understanding of Meghan Markle and the world she has carefully constructed around herself. By framing their story this way, they appeal to a sense of moral obligation, asking viewers to consider the ethical implications of concealing or revealing such secrets. And yet, despite their careful framing, questions abound. Who exactly corroborates their story? Are there additional witnesses? Are the documents legitimate? Or are they the product of memory and speculation? These uncertainties are not brushed aside. Instead, they are highlighted, increasing the tension and curiosity. The viewer is left in a state of suspended disbelief, constantly questioning what is real and what might be exaggerated. This balance between credibility and doubt is what makes the clips so compelling, ensuring that attention remains riveted from start to finish. Throughout the clip, the family makes a deliberate effort to humanize themselves and Meghan. They speak respectfully, acknowledging her public achievements and the life she has built, even while revealing potentially damaging information. This approach is strategic. By avoiding overt attacks or sensationalist language, they maintain a veneer of credibility and fairness. They invite the audience to consider the story without bias, yet the mere act of revealing it inevitably casts a shadow over Meghan's past. The video also carefully sets up the larger narrative for the chapters to come. Early hints are dropped about the alleged pregnancy, the adoption, and the complex web of secrecy that surrounded these events. These teases are designed to create anticipation and encourage viewers to keep watching, commenting, and sharing. Every sentence is calibrated to maintain suspense, balancing emotional storytelling with factual claims that feel just credible enough to provoke discussion.